than to fall inside or outside of IR35. That's generally questions my colleague at the end, so I'll let him answer that one.
The actual shooter, yes, does that have their aim to be cooked? Fish. They didn't shoot, so somebody had to have between them and
like a personal service company.
Yes. So the car work in the school, and I said what she said, we were on the ground and best and the same they don't follow the right. They were designed to me between the work and the end use. As at their own. So you could be in the agents or spoken at the agents. And you would call it up. We essentially the agents. Because you don't have the actual intermediary begun the company.
So I think the answer to that question is effectively if the tutor is working on as a sole trader, there's no IR35 doesn't count coming to it all.
Well, if you'd have to look at the Rockham's to see if IR35 that the thing was short.
Sorry, so just a summary, because that went back and forth a bit, and I'm conscious people at the back might not be able to hear. The conversation was you need you need an intermediary between the tutor and the end hirer for it to possibly engage IR35 rules. So a personal service company, a limited company, some kind of other intermediary for it to fall under the rules. Before in IR35 then for
Yeah. He can't because start organically with this out to meet we're having I did that, but depending on that one part. To research to do that. But God, a silver foot. In the absolutely both I post festivals, so say they actually obviously cut. You would fall under the R35 things, you'd have to look at it, start to get as the famed employment status test there, but it's in different category in terms of the law. So it's not R35 and then start the any. It's the test whether the person is employed or self-employed. You'd have to look at that. The first question to look for is there a big item that would also mean there are the employee, but so there's no magic formula to employment status. It's all through case law. Well, the most famous one being ready-mix concrete, which is a 1960s case which tested whether lorry drivers, employee or self-employed when it came out of because they had financial risk that they were being someone counted it to be saying they were some said in their own right. If you test these rules, you have to look at three main hints to examine whether someone's employed or self-employed. Where exactly the same test, but with the intermediary comes responsible for being employees, for being employed and being employer. So it depends whether you're dealing with sole trader or someone through their personal service come in, depends if which rules apply to the circumstances and on and that person working through it. I thought this is when these guys.
Yeah, so there is the view so we have employed wrong treatment rules, and yet the other is we're going to what obtains Jane colleagues at Carnegie to establish the answer for some of those questions around what the amount of time on the premises that kick things make that reportable. Any questions? One of these are obviously we worked on the law of the past year. Obviously, no adults crystal was to get the employment agency standards out of the regulation relating to the conduct regulation relating to quote agencies out of work visits. But any questions to the audience for what the one of the ones we had previous? Thank
Correct. I had such as to come back to you sure for me. One of the main things I should ensure that I have the best first
if you're outsourcing, so you're buying somebody for an end user for tutoring purposes, what we should be having about, yeah, if I've got contractors where you can, actually, yeah, I mean, especially if the process agents, let's say you need to sort of make sure that there's sort of processing waste, you can do and checks for those individuals, and so you like them skills, spirit training, to one of the sort of references, that sort of thing. And ultimately as places and you're providing them some sort of information separately about what they're going to do in order to sort of carry out that service. Do they need a contract? Yeah. And also depending on which business model you're using in your point business or in the HC, then there are certain paying obligations that you have your operating as an employment business, then you're obliged to pay the worker regardless of if you get paid in the end line, for example. And there's pay and handling challenges between the EA models, in one teams, in one business. In white business, you can handle the payment yourself. And from teams, you can handle it. I have to go and pay from the individual backing fiber system or map directly with Jayton. And I'm going abroad with these to be transparent and so those are the key things I think when I'm focusing on the tutoring on these baseline.
And I think it's like say we've done a lot of work with filling the box on what model would do one of the law will take as the word influx specific on you must not make a readily debate, so you can't be in control of that aim for let's do it.
Yeah, absolutely correct, yeah. We've gone question and then question again.
Some companies operate solely as EV, some companies operate solely as EA, and then there are those in the middle.
Yeah.
I know the EA has looked at a few companies since the regulation came in January. Have you looked at any specific ones, don't need to mention names of course, but that have been operating in both a hybrid model? And if so, have you identified any particular issues with them?
So the question is about we started to look at we've got agencies in one business in the cheap world, and there's some operators in EB and EA and some Hornigan
So it's at EA.
and then global and they're fine. So I think generally I've been pleasantly surprised. Actually, that some of the we've done a visit to we like stack defined in every in the recruitment business and fund agencies, so we've not found anything that's really dropped on jaws to tour and variety wings and fumble yet. We've seen, but I don't like we see people that operate both as EB and EA. The key thing is when you're swapping and changing between the two models, was you make sure you're processing it up, which you're doing things slightly differently, and you behave back to the work seeker, some question, send an account, so they know that they're being treated in a different way according to.
Or attending the very exciting, most exciting perhaps, panel of the day, which is on compliance. I'm sure you're all here because you think this is going to be absolutely thrilling and address all of your burning questions about compliance and regulatory issues across your businesses. So I'm delighted to welcome here today a panel of some finest people we can find to address every possible aspect of what most tutors and tuition businesses ask us around compliance and tax and regulation. So I'll allow them to introduce themselves on the end, please, James.
Hi, I'm Terence Fight, HRC, mainly dealing in employment status and intermediary issues.
Thanks so much.
I'm Mike Payne from Global Ability Consultants. I act for a significant number of education businesses, including tuition businesses.
Hello, I'm Steve Keenan. I'm with the Employment Agency Status Inspectorate, which is part of the Department of Business and Trade.
Hi, my name's Ben Bridden. I head up the Employment Agency Standards Inspectorate.
Thanks very much, gentlemen. So, as you can see, if you've got questions around compliance, around employment intermediary reporting, around tax, VAT, all of the stuff around employment agency standards, which we have obviously worked with you. If you've been a member for any length of time, you'll have heard from us many, many times, and you cannot feign ignorance here. We obviously, if you've got any questions about those issues, then we can address them. We're going to start just with one or two of the questions that we've had from members beforehand to raise at the conference, which I'm sure some of you might share. And then if you've got questions of your own, please make sure you put your hand up in a moment when we ask questions, and we'll try and get through as many as we possibly can. One of the first questions we had has been around the employment intermediary reporting, and I know a lot of people have asked us about employment intermediary reporting. It is something which people have had perhaps less understanding of in the past, and we're really trying to make sure people understand when they need to do it and when they perhaps don't need to do it. I suppose it's mostly a question for you, James. Can you give us a brief overview of sort of when does employment intermediary reporting kick in, and how people can go about doing that if that's something they need to see? Okay, not something the NTS really covers, but employment intermediary reporting is effectively one of the compliance issues we've got with HMRC, where people have to submit quarterly reports for anyone they pay off payroll. So that means anyone that's being paid via direct bank transfer because they're a self-employed contractor rather than through PAYE, so there's no tax deducted at source. Obviously, in those particular cases, people have to undertake employment intermediary reporting, but there is an exemption if the tutors themselves don't work at premises which are controlled or managed by the client. We'll address that in further detail another time, but that's basically a bit of an update on what the situation is with that as we understand it. I know there are a couple of people who have had issues with employment intermediary reporting. TGA is dealing with those, and so that does apply to you. Please get in touch via info@tutorsassociation.org.uk. We will deal with those as well. We've also, any other questions before we move on to some of the other ones I've had on compliance? 1 and 2. Piyush, please.
Just the bit way about the fault says is actually that a dot positive.
Yeah, so the employment intermediary reporting, there is an exemption where the activity, the workers that are being paid are not working from premises that are managed or owned by the client.
So the problem, so on it, we policy that